Good evening and welcome. I will call the August 19th, 2025 Yakima City regular meeting to order. We'll start with the roll call, please.
Byrd,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Byers,
Present.
Decio,
Here.
Glenn,
Present.
Herrera,
Here.
Roy.
Here.
Thank you. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Begin. Next, we'll have interpreter services, please.
Good evening, Jorge Villaseñor, Language Connection. Si alguien necesita de la ayuda de un intérprete, tenemos los radios disponibles aquí afuera. Gracias.
Gracias. Next is public comment. There will be 35 minutes allowed for public comment with 2.5 minutes per person in order to allow as much opportunity as possible. When you come to the podium, please give us your name and the city in which you live. State law prohibits electioneering at city facilities. During public comment, speakers cannot campaign for or against candidates or support or oppose any ballot measure in the upcoming election. All right, we will start. The first is Ann Knapp.
Should have brought 5 biscuits. Good afternoon. My name is Ann Knapp. I live in Yakima. I am asking that the city postpone item 7E until city staff can correct or confirm the accuracy of the information and provide full financial information. I did send out an email and some handouts, so I think, or a letter and some handouts. Preserving America's last intact early 20th century interurban electric railroad. That's a statement on the Yakima Valley Trolley's Facebook page, but I think about 99% of the historic 48 miles of track and electrical wiring is gone. Does the city own the interurban electric railroad system? I think some of the land in Sela Gap is owned by Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Would permits be denied due to the landslide risk? There's a map in the handouts I gave you. There's a high-risk geologically hazardous area, and I think you need to do a State Environmental Policy Act analysis before authorizing trolley operations in case there's some mitigation you need to do through the SEPA analysis. Does Yakima have rights to operate the tourist trolley excursions outside city limits? I think there is no contract to operate outside of the city limits, especially with Burlington Northern Santa Fe. Are cut funds restored or are funds gifted to the Yakima Valley Trolley Board? The City Council recently cut trolley maintenance funds due to a serious financial shortfall of $9 million. I think that funding looks like it's been restored through this resolution. And we have some other critical public needs that we've talked about before. It looks like D&O insurance is mentioned in the licensing agreement. I don't know if that's an improper gift of public funds to private board members. And I believe that Yakima required the Trolley Association to provide an insurance plan and an operations maintenance plan to be funded by the trolley. I don't know if that's in place. And then the agenda statement says the terms for this agreement is through December 31st, 2029, but the license agreement states through 2034, and that would be good to correct it. So for these reasons, the resolution be postponed, corrected, and reduced in scope. Allow Yakima Valley Trolleys to operate excursion trolleys within Yakima city limits with YVT responsible for all costs. Please conduct a SEPA analysis, and I do support the trolley. I think they've received funding for many years. I'm hoping they can find time for themselves to seek financial independence and sustain themselves without consuming our scarce city resources intended for broad public benefit, and maybe they can...
Sorry, but your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Next is Mary Place.
Hi, my name is Mary Place. I have a handout that you've received. I live in the city of Yakima, and I'm here to ask you to postpone your vote to fund the Yakima trolley system. I do not know what instructions were given to the consultant that did this very lengthy document, but there are several questions that have not been addressed. The first is number one, who owns the land? Currently, the land outside of the city is owned by the city of Sela, Yakima County, Washington State Department of Transportation, Some federal land is also there, Burlington Northern, Santa Fe Railroad, and some private properties. The city of Yakima does not have permission to use land outside of the city. And in 1985, 20 miles of the YVT line were abandoned by the Interstate Commerce Commission. That's attached to the document I gave you. What does this mean? It means before anything can be done, both SEPA and NEPA need to be done. Those are environmental impact studies that gives notice and gets permission from all landowners. It requires a critical areas review and a cultural resource assessment. The three cost of a project is that in 2024, they said there was a cost of $5 million per mile. That's just for the 4 miles to going to Sela, that's $20 million. I don't know where that money's coming from. Walking the old trolley line, I would encourage you to do that. There are numerous rock falls area that have covered the track and probably damaged the track. That is not considered in the cost effect. The Yakima trolleys are a National Historic Register, but they are not currently a National Historic Landmark. And without the railroad going into Sela, it does not meet the standard to be that. The trolleys do not and will not meet that designation without the miles going into Sela. I have actively supported the Yakima trolleys for over 30 years, but I think it's time for the trolleys to reinvent themselves and stay within the city of Yakima. That money can be better spent elsewhere. Wish I could give it to police and fire, but because of where it comes from, it has to stay within streets. So let's build sidewalks around schools. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Weiss. Next is Lisa Downey.
Good evening, everyone. Patricia, I've met you once before. Nice to meet you again. My name's Lisa Downey. I'm a native of Yakima. Been living here about 4 years now, but prior to that was born and raised here until I went to school and came back. I heard the Franklin Pool is being closed. I don't know if there are plans to reopen it, but I did a digital petition the last 3 weeks. I've got 1,635 digital signatures, and I gave the evidence to Rosalinda. I'd like you guys to consider or reconsider reopening the pool, perhaps remodel it now and reopen next year rather than wait when other funds won't be available. Perhaps offer sponsorships to some of the top businesses in town. Consider the pool being perhaps GS Long Franklin Pool, the Hogback Franklin Pool, Washington Fruit Franklin Pool, or some of the other businesses in town that might sponsor it. The other option would be offering the pool as a community membership pool. I had the same dilemma in Bellevue when I lived there, and the Smena Club had a pool that was going to close. The neighborhood banded together and created a community membership pool, and it's now thriving. So that I gave you the link in the PowerPoint too. The other option would be just take sponsor donations from across all of Yakima and Sela. In the digital petition I did, the bulk of the supporters came from 98902, which is Yakima, but also Union Gap, Sela, Glebe, Wapato, which was surprising. Anyway, this would, if we close Franklin, would be we would not have a public pool on the west side any longer. And there's a lot of people, elderly, people that are health challenged, that use it every day, like myself. So I look forward to your hopeful response, and if I can help in any way to reach these 635 to vote for the levy coming up, I'd be happy to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Downey. Okay, so next is Bruce, and I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce your last name. I cannot read your last name. Do we have a
Can
Bruce?
I wait a couple of the first time? I kind of want to see how. A little, or do I have to go now?
No, we can put you at the end if you'd like that.
Could I please?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell me how to pronounce your last name?
Go lightly.
Go lightly, thank you.
I'm Leroy, and that's Bruce.
All right, the next is Consuelo Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Consuelo Rodriguez. I have been working with La Casa Hogar for 7 years. We are here with our student, the citizenship classes. I am teaching that class and my coworker Mireya is here. Our students are learning about the local government. Thank you for your support our activities in the community, and they feel welcome in this place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rodriguez. Next is Tony Corsi.
Tony Corsi. Without questions, I've already asked questions, and it's sad because you guys are just thinking that I'm whatever. It doesn't matter what you think about me. What the problem is you're wrong. I got water right claim in Sela. That doesn't go away. I've already asked about that, and you guys don't want to talk about that. I got a storm drain on 16th and Hathaway. I paid 100% of it. Now, when I went to school, if you paid 100% of it, that means you own it. City was supposed to pay half, but they decided to want to spank me and say, no, I had to pay it. And the joke's on you guys because it's not hooked up to anything, and the United Builders already said that it's the wrong size for that. So you guys want to just keep on going and not sit down and try to solve problems? Yeah. Intellectual property rights. Know the money that came in, the 74 police cars and the fire truck with the ladder? Not one of you guys stood by me, next to me, or anywhere by me, and you all said no. And it happened. And you want to say you guys got all this money coming in? BS. And Mr. Trump, if you want to turn around and give people insurance, a lady, yeah, I already know about. So you guys get your head out and start doing things right because you waited all these years, 25. You realize in 2000 I came down here and did that for the crosswalk for the city of Yakima, not for your pocketbooks. Bunch of parasites.
Thank you, Mr. Corsi. Mr. Golightly, you're the last one.
Say again?
Would you come up now? You're the last one.
All right, on that. I'm Leroy Golightly. I run the Calvary Mission. My grandma started in 1934. I'm here to talk about oath breakers. I'm going to go back to 1970 and try to get to 2025 in 2.5 minutes. In 1970, Judge Mullins here in town, and the police chief, who I think was the best police chief we ever had, Robertson, he was here for 21 years. When I left for Vietnam, both his men, I was going to go to prison, but they got together and let me go to Vietnam. Since that time, we got a lot of oath breakers in Yakima. Cops that don't know the Constitution. They don't know the First Amendment. They don't know the Second Amendment. They're out there forcing laws. They're arresting people. I've been arrested so many times for standing up for my rights. I fought for the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. I'm an oath keeper. 18, Afghanistan. 2021, my twin daughters. Vietnam, 69. This thing you got going with this police chief, I've been trying to FOIA how many bullets was shot from them 14 cops' guns. What if it had been one of your kids or something? Bullets don't have minds. They go where they want to go. If it would have killed somebody. Then I tried to talk to the police chief yesterday, and he's on vacation. I didn't know the story and stuff till I started reading it. He ain't on vacation. I don't know who you're going to put in this place or whatever, but like I said, you find somebody like this, we'll be a lot better guys. I cleaned up that shit over there for, 92 years we've been over there. And now it's over here. So, I don't know what else to say, guys. I'm going to FOIA everything, but I think my plan is to take it federally because you guys can't clean this. You can't clean this shit up. It's gone too far. When they don't know the First Amendment, You know the First Amendment? Say? Yeah, that's what I say, and then they're gonna arrest you for,
Thank you, Mr.
you
Golightly.
don't show your ID. Thank you, Roy.
So we have an end to the requests accepted. Mr. Beeler, is there anyone online who wishes to address the council this evening?
No, Mayor Myers, there is not.
Thank you. Then we will close the public comment section and open up discussion for the good of the order. We'll start with the Overdose Awareness Day proclamation. This is a proclamation that was brought to council, and I need to ask the council if they're willing to have this presented and read tonight. So I need a motion for that.
I'd move to adopt the proclamation
Second.
And request that it be read and
and that it be read.
Second again.
So we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Brown and a second by Councilman Berg to approve the proclamation and request that it be read as presented tonight. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0, thank you. In which case, I will now read the proclamation. I think we have Kim Hitchcock and Jessica Espinoza here to receive it this evening. Please come forward. Pass this around.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to read the proclamation, and then you'll have an opportunity to speak. City of Yakima Proclamation. Whereas the City of Yakima does affirm and acknowledge the harm and hardship caused by drug overdose, and whereas we recognize the purpose of Intentional Overdose Awareness Day as remembering loved ones lost to overdose and ending the stigma of drug-related deaths, and whereas we resolve to play our part in reducing the toll of overdose in our community, which claimed the lives of more than 144 Yakima residents in 2024, together with countless more affected forever. And whereas we affirm that people affected by overdose are our sons and daughters, our mothers and fathers, our brothers and sisters, and deserving of our love, compassion, and support. Now therefore, I, Patricia Byers, Mayor of the City of Yakima, on behalf of the Yakima City Council, hereby proclaim August 29th, 2025 as Overdose Awareness Day in the City of Yakima in recognition of the intentional event on August 31st, dated this 19th day of August 2025. So thank you. Would you like to share some thoughts?
My name is Jessica Espinoza. This is Floyd Race. We are with a local nonprofit, Yakima Recovery Events. So good to see you.
Good to
Thank
see
you
you
for
as well.
having us.
Yeah.
We're really grateful for this. It's very special to us. And we hope that everybody can come and join in helping break the stigma and remembering those that we lost. And this is just something else that we're able to bring to the table to show that we are starting to make a difference in the community. So we're really grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's good to see you again also. Yeah.
On behalf of Triumph and everyone with Triumph and PCAP, I'm the director of PCAP. Thank you for awarding this to us.
You're welcome. Good to see you again also, Jessica. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, somebody should have said that. I'm sorry. All right, next is a report on the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, which I'm going to present. I'm just going to keep it brief, but I wanted to, for people that don't know, the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee is someone from the city and from the representatives of Capitol Theater, State Fair Park, Convention Center, to decide where the lodging tax assessment will go. This is a fee added to any overnight stays in the city of Yakima, whether it's hotels, RV parks, I think places that are registered as a Airbnb. So it's just an additional fee that raises funds that by RCW go back into the city specifically for supporting programs and agencies that provide opportunity for tourism, entertainment, and bringing people into the community to stay overnight to do that. So that's where the money comes from. I'll give you a quick rundown. I can get my screen to expand. Oh, there it goes, okay. So LTAC revenue projections for this year are $1,800,000. There's a debt service fee that comes out automatically. It goes for the, all of the advancements that were made and what's the word I'm looking for? Thank you very much, John Cooper. Expansion of the Yakima Convention Center. And in addition, there is a City of Yakima administration fee for handling the process of all of this of $3,274, leaving a subtotal of $1,306,726. And so then we talked about where that money should go this year. $300,000 will go to the Convention Center Capital Fund. That's for capital improvements on the building. They have things like HVAC and those kinds of things need to be taken care of. Also for the Convention Center operations, $641,226. For visitor services, that is our visitors visitation. We have 2 of those in Yakima, one across the street from Target, and then we have one that operates part-time in the Yakima Valley Mall. So $60,000 for that. Sports Commission operations, $95,500. We have multiple sports events during the year, probably the most important is which over 30, I think 31 to 33 high school championship events that take place here every year. So all at the Sundome and other places. That's really cool. Then the Capitol Theater operations is $1,500, and the Sundome is $60,000. So that's where we're at this year for the total of $1,306,726.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee recommendations as outlined.
I'll second, sure.
So we have a motion by Councilman Decio and a second by Deputy Mayor Brown to approve the recommendations made by the LTAX committee this year. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Can we have any discussion on it?
Well, you may, go ahead.
Yeah.
I look and I see a pretty substantial amount of money going to our convention center, and I thought the intent was that they would be self-sustaining. It's my understanding that the school or the city has funded all of the improvements but are we to say that after doing all this and having them run a convention center that's fully complete and operational, that we still have to subsidize their operations to make it survive?
I'm going to have John Cooper from our Yakima Lake Tourism and the director of the Convention Center to come forward and answer the question for you.
Also have the manager
I'm
of the
sorry, yes,
Convention
here's our
Center,
manager.
Connie
Thank you,
Upton.
Connie.
To give you a little bit of history, the operations of the Convention Center is funded through hotel motel taxes, a legitimate use of the funds, earned revenue, and from the PFD, that's a joint operation between 3 communities of a rebate of the state sales tax. No general funds are used for the operation of the Convention Center. It has never been the case. It is self-supporting. So that's why these funds are important, so that it doesn't put a strain on the Convention Center, on the general fund. So that's how the center is funded and has traditionally always been funded.
Mm-hmm.
So no general funds go to the center. So if you wish to divert it for something else, how do we operate the center that brings all the people, and how do we do it?
So what you're saying is that the revenues generated from the operation don't cover the operating expenses. You have to have this other revenue in order to
Yes.
survive.
The earned revenue is important, and there's earned revenue as part of the equation when people rent the facilities and we get a rebate from our caterer, but it's not sufficient to 100% support the facility. And that's why lodging taxes are used for that, and which is the case throughout the state.
Yeah.
Is there a reason, sorry. I have another question that has nothing to do with the convention center. But you caught me in mid-thought, so.
I'd just like to add the comment about the operating expenses. Only 200,000 of that goes to convention center operating expenses. The rest is used for management fee, promotional fee that the city has contracted with Yakima Valley Tourism for. So it covers all of those features too.
Yeah, I just look at it and I see, we've got the state championship for track and we have the Sunfair Cross Country Meet, and all these things are expected to pay money, and I'm wondering, okay, why aren't we allocating some funds to some of these types of activities? And is it a good idea to have the convention center if we have to subsidize it to this level?
So first of all, in the answer to that question, the Sports Commission does receive $95,500 to help with their programs. And what Mr. Cooper is saying, what Connie is saying is that these funds are generated through a fee added to hotel rooms. It's not general fund money. It's not anything the taxpayers are paying for. It is self-generated by the number of people who come into Yakima and spend the night here and pay an additional fee for that. And that's all through the RCWs of the state of Washington.
Yeah.
And one of the main purposes of the hotel motel tax from when it was originally incepted was to pay for and help city-owned facilities. So you have the convention center, you have the Capitol Theater, and the Visitor Information Center is covered by that. Those are all city-owned facilities, and they need to be maintained and kept up.
And used.
I have two questions. One, in regards to the visitor centers, they don't seem to be open or work very well. I know the one over by Target seems to be like it's kind of a hard place for. It's not real great with all of the things that are going on over there. And then the other one, which you don't probably know this answer, Connie, so it's probably more John. But the Sundome aspect, is it? And it's not a city at all, so it's just included because it's in the area type of thing.
It's an important piece of our attractions and activities for when we have particularly youth sporting events and other activities, so it is to help support that. It is owned by the county, but it is to help supplement what they do there that help to bring these groups and serve them.
And not a question, but all the things that happen in all of these areas are bringing in money to the city with all the events that come.
Correct.
So it's...
And that's the other side of the benefit of the activities we do. We're across the board, we're helping to attract visitors who spend money, who help generate additional taxes, support businesses that pay property tax, et cetera. I agree with you, the visitor center does have some challenges. Its location makes it tough for people to get to it in certain directions. And in the future, we're going to have to look at the long-term viability of it as there's the development of the mill site, and there needs to be a new off-ramp for that and a frontage road, but that's keeps getting pushed off 3 years, then another 3 years. But we're doing the best we can to sustain it with the resources we have and the number of hours we have. We're trying to find other resources to help keep it open longer. But in addition, we're focusing, why it just says, it doesn't say visitor center, it talks about services. We're doing satellite pop-ups of the information booth in addition to the visitor center. For example, we're at the farmer's market almost every Sunday during the market's run. And we're serving anywhere between 100 to 200 people each time. That's part of the visitor services too. So we're taking the visitor services to the people more.
Gotcha.
And I just want to be clear because Councilman DCO mentioned this. When we're talking about income, it's not just the lodging tax. It's not just the additional $4 fee for a room. It is money spent shopping and eating and all of those other things in Yakima that bring sales tax in. Yeah.
Councilmember Glenn, I'll set up an appointment. We'll talk more.
The other question I had, I know that the city just bought the Chamber of Commerce building, and the idea was supposedly to enhance the convention center operations. And I'm just wondering, okay, how is all this going to play in? That's another $600,000 that we've invested basically for the convention center, and what's going to happen with that long term?
So we are working with the staff at this time for there to be the demolition of the building, grazing it down, filling it in because there's a basement, and for that to be rocked or paved over to increase the parking until, for a short-term period, we don't know how many years, until we can find a developer to build a new hotel there, which is something we're continually looking for. So that's part of the long-term plans and the cost.
When I look at it, having a visitor center in that building makes a ton more sense than having the one where it's at. It's a little bit hard to get to.
That building has a number of challenges structurally, both the HVAC and others factors to rehab it. So it's something to look at, but at this time, the plan is to put it as part of the overall lot of the convention center.
I listened to all this, it makes me think, okay, there is the expectation that city is going to be a lot more involved in the convention center than they are now financially as in the coming years. So that's just the concern that I have.
We do not anticipate that.
Pardon me?
We do not anticipate that. We've been pretty much self-reliant throughout the history of the center, not relying upon the general fund.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kipper and Connie.
When is the debt service paid off?
When?
Yeah,
When or what?
I think it's 2044,
when?
Okay.
but I'm not 100%.
What was that? Sorry.
2044?
No, so we got a lot of time. Great.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It was just done in 2020.
Right.
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 Yeah, it was total remodel of the convention center.
Right, yeah, no, I got that.
Has it generated a significant amount more money? Is that turning out to be a valuable addition, or is it made that much difference?
I think it's made a couple of different differences. One, we're able to hold smaller groups and more at one time. Last year, we had a record-breaking year for our earned revenue. Excuse me, we actually exceeded $1 million, and that building has never done that in the past. So record-breaking in that regards. And then, of course, the number of sleeping rooms that were generated, that was also record-breaking. And we keep plugging away at it.
It's a fantastic building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Especially the new addition. It's,
What is that?
A
Wonderful.
lot of those compliments.
yeah.
Thank you.
We
So
already,
we have a motion on the floor. Have we voted?
No, we haven't
No.
We
voted.
have not voted. I didn't think so. Are we ready to vote?
I'm ready.
Okay. Then all of those are receiving this report and approving that, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, council. All right, next is the consent agenda. Are we close? We are after 6. We have public hearings tonight, so we're gonna move forward to public hearings. Item 8. Okay, item 8, and I'm gonna change my page here. Oh, here we go. Okay. The first is a public hearing, closed record public hearing of the resolution to consider the hearing examiner's recommendation regarding the master plan development and supervision for Champions Park phases 2 through 6. Mr. Cole is going to present after I read. Okay, thank you. The hearing examiner had an open public record hearing and is recommending the approval. The council is now charged with evaluating the hearing examiner's recommendation and the record and deciding whether to adopt a resolution approving the master plan development of Champions Park phases 2 through 6 pursuant to the recommendation. This is a quasi-judicial hearing as much as the appearance of fairness doctrine controls. Each council member must answer affirmatively or negatively to the following questions. I'll ask the questions and then have each one of you respond to them. Do you have any interest in the property or the application, or do you own property within 300 feet of the property subject to this application?
No.
no.
No for me as well, thank you. Do you stand to gain or lose any financial benefit as a result of the outcome of this proposal?
No.
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 No for me as well. Can you hear and consider the application in a fair and objective manner without bias?
Yes.
Yes for me as well. Have you had any ex parte communications with the applicants or anyone else regarding this application? If so, please place on the record the substance of your communication so that interested parties have the opportunity to rebut the communication.
No.
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 No for me as well. Okay. Is there anyone who wishes to challenge any council member's participation in this application or the appearance of fairness grounds? All right, seeing them, we will move on. The following additional ground rules apply to this hearing. All council members participating remotely will have their, well, we don't have anybody remote, so don't worry about that. Public testimony is limited to the master plan development of Champion Park phases 2 through 6, and therefore the only issue in front of the city council is whether to adopt or reject the hearing examiner's recommendation in favor of the application. The council will not consider any evidence pertaining to other issues or any evidence not in the record already for making this decision. We'll start the hearing now. We'll start with a presentation by our Trevor Martin, our planning director.
Champions Park Phases 2 through 6 is a 221-lot subdivision in the vicinity of South 38th Avenue and Sorensen Road on SR, R1, R2, R3, and GC zoned property submitted by HLA Engineering and Surveying on behalf of Prickly Pear Holdings LLC. The plat will include full urban services, including sewer, water, public and private streets with curbs, gutters, sidewalks, and streetlights. Champions Park Phase 1 was approved by City Council in 2024. The purpose of this planned development for Phases 2 through 6 is to allow for commercial uses on residential zone property, a private gated residential street, modified street design standards, and modified site design standards for the different proposed uses. The hearing examiner held an open record public hearing on June 26, 2025, and rendered his written recommendation for approval subject to conditions on July 10, 2025. As this is a closed record public hearing, no new testimony is allowed to be submitted, and staff's recommendation is adoption of the resolution to approve the master plan development overlay and preliminary plat of Champions Park Phases 2 through 6.
Thank you. Any questions by council? All right, hearing none, I will open the public hearing. Do we have anyone in the room this evening who would wish to address the council about this particular public hearing? Thank you. Mr. Beeler, is there anyone online who wishes to address the council for this public hearing?
No, Mayor Byers, there is not.
Thank you. Then I will close the public hearing and would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move to affirm the recommendation of the hearing examiner and adopt the resolution.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilman Decio and a second by Deputy Mayor Brown to approve the resolution and accept the recommendation of the hearing planner.
Hearing examiner.
Thank you.
There you
Hearing
go.
examiner. I knew I'd get that out. We'll take a roll call vote on that, please.
I'll read the
Oh, yes,
resolution.
thank you.
This is a resolution approving the master plan development of Champions Park Phases 2 through 6 and authorizing and directing the city manager to execute a development agreement with Prickly Pear Holdings LLC to provide for the terms and conditions of development of a preliminary long plat and plan development to be located at the vicinity of Sorensen Road between South 38th Avenue and South 52nd Avenue in the city of Yakima.
Thank you.
Berg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yeah.
Byers,
Yes.
Decio,
Yes.
Glenn,
Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Roy.
Yes.
All right, motion passes 7-0, and the resolution is adopted. Thank you, council. We will now go down to item B, which is a public meeting to consider notice of intent to commence the Lock Ridge annexation. Again, our planning manager, Trevor Martin, represents the council.
Thank you. Excuse me. Good evening, City Council. My name is Trevor Martin, Planning Manager with the City of Yakima. So tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Lock Ridge annexation. A notice of intent to commence on annexation was received by the Planning Division on February 25th, 2025. On July 15th, 2025, Council set a date of August 19th, which is today, to consider this annexation request. The area for annexation is comprised of a single parcel that is approximately 5.24 acres in size and is currently and has an underlying or a zoning designation of R1 single-family residential. The subject property is located at 1504 South 80th Avenue, right in the vicinity of Lauren and 80th. If Council wishes to accept and begin the annexation process, direct staff to draft the official annexation petition and collect signatures from the property owners and begin the annexation review procedures. The final annexation ordinance will be brought to City Council at a later date. So this is just the meeting to determine whether or not you would like to go forward and collect the signatures to begin the annexation process of this property. So
Thank you.
Any questions?
So there's only one owner of that whole section of property?
Yeah, just one parcel.
So there are not going to be too many people to contact that?
Right. Yep, exactly.
Thank you. Any other questions by council, any other discussion? Okay. Then clerk, would you read that?
We do not have a.
No.
Okay.
I would move to direct staff to draft the official annexation petition and collect signatures from property owners to begin the annexation review procedures.
I'll second.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Brown and a second by Councilman Decio to direct staff to draft the official annexation petition and collect signatures from property owners to begin the annexation review process.
Do you want to roll? Call?
Yes, please.
Brown?
Yes.
Byers?
Yes.
Decio?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Herrera?
Yes.
Roy?
Yes.
Berg?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 7-0. Thank you, council. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Now we're going to go back to item 7, which is the consent agenda, all right? Items listed are considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion without discussion. A council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda, and if approved, it will be placed on the regular agenda for discussion and consideration. Does any council person have an item they wish to remove from the agenda?
Yes.
What item number?
Item E.
Item E, all right. And I am also going to remove item G. Any other requests of council? All right.
My two.
All right. Then clerk, would you read the agenda, please?
Item 7A is approval of minutes from the August 4, 2025 City Council regular meeting. Item B is approved payment of disbursements for the period July 1 through 31, 2025. Item C is the July 2025 investment transaction report. Item D is a resolution accepting and approving the second quarter 2025 claim report for the City of Yakima. Item F is a resolution authorizing a first response agreement between Yakima County Fire Protection District Number 4, the City of Union Gap Fire Department, and the City of Yakima Fire Department for emergency aid response services. Item H is a resolution authorizing a renewal of the service agreement with Penser North America, Inc. to serve as third-party administrator of the city's workers' compensation program. Item I is a resolution ratifying and approving the city manager's execution of a grant agreement with the Washington State Office of Public Defense, accepting the terms and conditions for a reimbursable grant for 2025. Item J is an ordinance amending the 2025 through 2026 budget for the City of Yakima and making appropriations from unappropriated fund balances within various funds for expenditure during 2025 for various purposes. Item K is a resolution authorizing a second amendment to the commercial lease agreement between the City of Yakima and the Greater Yakima Chamber of Commerce for property located at 10 North 9th Street in Yakima.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Oh.
So we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Brown and a second by Councilman Decio to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Herrera.
I'm sorry, was it?
He got it first.
Oh, well then, we give the credit to Mr. Herrera. Thank you.
Hi.
All right, so we'll need a roll call vote, please.
Byers?
Yes.
Decio?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Herrera?
Yes.
Roy?
Yes.
Berg?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
All right, motion passes 7-0 and resolutions are adopted. Thank you, council. Now we'll go back to the two items we've asked to remove from the agenda. Item E is a resolution authorizing the operation license agreement with the Yakima Valley Trolleys, a nonprofit corporation. You requested that it be removed from the agenda?
Yes. As I reviewed, well, are you going to comment on that, or?
I'm here if you need. He's here for questions.
As I reviewed the contract, it looked to me like it was pretty much a carbon copy of the last agreement, and I don't think it reflects the change that we've made as far as what we're willing to do as a city to fund the trolley. And so I think there are some issues there that we need to bring forward and decide. For all intents and purposes, the budget cuts that we've made have said we're not going to keep providing money for the trolley, but this agreement basically says, yes, we are, the way I look at it. So I think we need to hold back and clarify these issues.
So I can talk about what the agreement says. I rewrote it. It does, so there's a number of things that came up earlier during public comment that I want to address as well. As you said, it's relatively the same as what it has been in the past 10 years, 2 5-year cycles. And it allows the Yakima Valley Trolleys to operate the city's trolley system. It's an operations and maintenance agreement. And in that agreement, there are a number of requirements that they have to submit, as was mentioned earlier. Those requirements come into effect once the operations and maintenance agreement is signed. So the fact that we don't have them yet is because they don't have an agreement. the one that's currently in place expires at the end of this month. And so this one would allow them to continue starting on, starting now, actually, if it gets approved. As far as funding goes, the city has set aside in their current 2025 budget, 10,000 out of the Public Works Fund, out of this Public Works Streets Fund, so out of Scott's money, 10,000 for admin. So that's the telephones, the water, sewer, gas, that kind, advertising, and some of those kinds of things. And then also has set aside 20,000 for the maintenance of the tracks for some of that larger stuff, like when we had Fruitvale a couple of years ago, and those kinds of things. Regarding the comment about defunding, there was a discussion that one of the cut packages removes $10,000 from that 20 of maintenance. So moving forward, if that passes and that's put in place, it would be 10 for admin and 10 for the heavy maintenance, so to speak. This has nothing to do with any of the rebuild or any of the other capital projects that we have talked about. This is simply to allow the Yakima Valley trolleys to operate, and they would operate on the city-owned infrastructure that's already out there. And as you may remember, the bridge currently is in design for repair so that they can get out to Sela, but they can't get past River Road right now because of the diamond, so that still needs to be corrected as well. Neither of those projects are associated with this agreement at all. This is simply to allow them to operate the trolleys and the museum that is city-owned.
So who operates it if we don't sign this?
As far as I know, either the city, which we don't have any staff to do that as far as I know, or nobody.
But we don't really have, the trolley is not really going very far right now. It's not really doing anything, is it?
It has a limited function. I'm not sure if they're here today. I don't think they are. But it goes out to Pine Street and goes down there a little ways, and then it goes out to River Road.
This is the first time I mean, I don't know if other council, I didn't realize, when we eliminated the 10,000, we were told multiple times in other meetings that that was the only contribution that the city was giving towards the trolleys. Now we're hearing there's another 10,000 of maintenance and another 10,000 on this other piece and another budget.
I think the confusion may be because it was general fund versus street, a different fund. So I think when we were talking about 10,000, that was just the general fund.
The streets not, I mean,
So I don't know if you
streets are not
recently-
enterprise in that fund.
Actually,
I don't know.
I don't know if Scott's here or not. I don't think he is.
But when we want to take the 10,000 that's in the streets budget and use it for something that is more, for streets, yeah. I mean, a trolley that goes down the road a couple blocks and comes back, that,
Do you know where the 20 comes from?
The 20, I know, comes from the streets. Yeah, because it's maintenance, right? It's a maintenance of an asset, so that's how the trolley, we are able to provide some of those larger maintenance efforts that the trolley needs to operate.
So the 10,000 was more about their
General operating
basic
administrative fee.
operations.
And-
I was asking them to fundraise themselves.
Yeah.
That.
Which they are aware that they are not getting the $10,000 in 2026. And they operate largely with volunteers, so they'll have other means of raising that money to keep themselves going until sometime in the future when the city can do that.
So the 10,000 they get is used to pay for the liability insurance on this unit?
The city pays for that.
The
Yeah,
city
well, actually, the city pays for that separate. That insurance cost is a separate cost not associated with the admin, the 10,000 admin. The water, sewer, power, gas, all of that stuff averages real close to $10,000 a year, not including insurance.
so the insurance is about 10,000 too? Is that?
I was looking at it today, actually. I think it's around 5. I could be wrong, but that's what I recall.
As I look at everything that's going on right now, I mean, I think there's a lot of the general public that rather keep Franklin Pool open than spend, I mean, there are other amenities, or keep the Harmon Center funded rather than spend money on the trolley. And as I look at the trolley, it's been in existence going on 50 years, I think, that it's been operating in Yakima, and it's just, I don't know that we can afford to keep putting money in and subsidizing it, and I'm thinking this might be the time for us to start looking, okay, let's come up with a plan B that doesn't include the city for the trolleys, and if it can't survive on its own, maybe it's time to just shut it down or do something different. I don't want to keep spending money on something that is nice to have, but isn't a necessity, given our budget condition.
I will say that, at this point, with the new contract, even though we have a new contract, which simply gives them permission to operate, they're not getting the administration fee. They're not getting the $10,000. They'll be covering that themselves. And it will allow time for the trolley. They do have communications going. They have applications for grants and other funding that will be taking place, where a great deal of what we're talking about in terms of future funding will come from. And I would hate to see us make a decision tonight, not knowing the answer of any of that, in terms of terminating the future of the trolley.
So if we don't make a decision tonight, they need the money by, the end of the month? I mean, they need an answer by the end of the month?
Yes, the current agreement expires on August 31st.
So they would ultimately be out of.
They wouldn't be able to operate until
Until
the
something-
next, till
yes.
council approves an operating
Right.
agreement.
Right.
So just hear me out on this. So 2025, we funded $10,000 for them in the general fund. We cut it in 2026.
Yes.
Okay, all right, just making sure that's clear. So a total of another 20,000 is on top of that coming out of streets, which is also a general fund, which is not its own. There's nothing that funds streets. It's general fund. It's public, it's property tax, sales tax, all of that. So you're talking $30,000 is coming out of for the trolley total. What is the total impact to the general fund in regards to the trolley?
Or 25 or 26?
25 and 26.
So currently, the general fund is budgeted for 30,000, 10 for admin, 20 for maintenance, out of different sources. In 26, as you said, it's which 10 goes away. I don't know that it matters. It's either, but 10 went away, so there's only 20,000 towards the trolleys in 26,
Okay.
out of the general fund.
Plus the liability insurance.
Plus the insurance, that would be correct.
So 25.
So the other question that comes to mind, it seemed like it was a 5-year agreement, but then it talks to 2034. I'm thinking it might be wiser for us now to extend it for 1 year.
It's not 2034, it's 2029.
So it'd be 5 years.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
Yeah, the contract renews every 5 years, up to
Correct.
2034, I think.
And again, this is operations only. And so the agreement also states that any revenue that they generate, they get to use for operations and maintenance. So whatever they get, they use towards that. I do know that they contributed a little bit towards the Fruitvale repairs back in 23. And I will point out that in 2021 and 22, it was 10 and 10. But then that repair kind of showed that we needed a little bit more to provide for some of that larger maintenance. So that's when Scott increased it 10,000 for 24 and 25.
So it does say it says term. The term of this license agreement shall commence on January 1st, 2025, and shall terminate at midnight, December 31st, 2034. I'm looking at it right here. And now it could be a Scribner's error.
That should not be there.
But that's what it says.
I don't know why it says that. I wrote it myself. That is unusual. I don't know.
That's under the term. Yeah, it's right there.
I think I would.
That is incorrect.
I would rather propose that we extend the term for 1 year so that we can look at it again next year and see, because a year from now, it could be a totally different situation financially than what we're looking at right now. And as much as it would be nice to keep it, if it becomes necessary to let it go, if you got a 5-year agreement, what do you do? So I'd like to see it go for 1 year.
So I will just add for your information, you can do with it what you want. It does, whether it should go to 34 or 29, it does contain a 60-day termination clause, so the city could, with notice, terminate, or either party could terminate the agreement. So you wouldn't necessarily commit to the full 5 years, because you would have the option to terminate it with 60 days notice.
So if in reviewing the budget next year and things aren't moving forward as we hope in terms of what the trolley plans to do in terms of fundraising, we could make a decision to terminate.
On 60 days notice.
Yeah.
What about the other questions that were brought up in public comment in regards to like the SEPA, the NEPA, landslide issues, stuff like that?
None of those have anything to do with the maintenance and operations of the trolley. That's all capital, that's all property, related stuff. Has nothing to do with what we're discussing today as far as allowing them and giving them an agreement to operate the trolleys.
But it does kind of, because if we're not able to fix any of that, or it's really expensive to get them to go out to SELA, then, we're not going to want to do that. And so having them be operational is kind of moot.
Yeah, I mean, operating them right now, the operations would go from Pine to River Road.
Right.
That's all that is currently available to them.
Right.
And they use the diesel backup solely. They're not using the overhead wires for anything, right?
Correct.
Now, to really be legitimate as an antique, it should be done with the electricity, it would seem, as well. So that's another issue that, but anyway, if we can terminate it in 60 days, if we choose to, then I can see how we could move forward with it, I guess, based on that.
I feel like we need to amend this, though, with the right date.
I agree.
Okay.
Do we need to bring it back to council then? How do we do that, Ryan?
We don't meet again until after it expires. So can they make
So-
that adjustment?
We can make that adjustment. What I would suggest is that means there is no operating agreement in effect from August 31st until wherever that adjustment is made. So technically, nobody should be operating the trolley during that time.
From August 31st to when could we make the
That's
adjustment?
Labor Day weekend.
So it's August 2nd, I believe, is the first meeting.
September 2nd?
September 2nd.
Sorry.
Like, wow, we
Yeah,
went
we've gone
backwards.
past that date.
September's-
Yeah.
Or we could just make an amendment that we adjust the date and approve it.
I mean,
based on-
yeah, and I guess this is a question I have for legal, is I believe that they would be able to sign it again with a corrected date if council gave
Approval tonight.
council, city manager to approval to sign it once the date has been changed. Is that?
Yes, I hesitate to, I mean, that's something that they would have to agree to.
Right.
And I can't represent what they are going to agree to or not.
So we will need some, if it expires the end of this month, we will need some very fast communication with the trolley to let them know the error days. We just need to correct that and bring it in on the 2nd of September.
Or can we just approve it and say the date will be changed to 2029 to reflect the contract and let it go at that, or is that,
Brought it back.
do they have to sign the contract again?
Brought back a revised contract. Would it supersede this?
Can we just amend it here as council?
Yeah, that's what Rick is asking.
No, I mean, like, can I make a motion that changes the date?
I believe that's, let me take a look at that.
Would you like to look that up?
I don't want to speak off the cuff, so.
I apologize. I have no idea how I did that.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
it
they-
still requires.
If you can't understand the mumbling, they're just trying to decide what we can actually do here.
We don't know if that.
I mean, technically, it would be a Scribner's error, which could be,
Well,
changed.
I don't know that,
to some.
I don't know that the date of termination, I would have to classify that as a Scrivener's error.
I mean, you did
How
say
about
in a.
scriber's error?
Yeah.
Or Bill's error, I don't know. Hey, I make mistakes too, apparently.
No, that's okay. I make them all the time. Do we have a resolution to this?
So I guess my question is the intent then to hopefully amend the resolution to give the city manager the authority to enter into an agreement with a reduced term. Now, that is going to be dependent on YVT agreeing to that,
it, yeah.
to that date. But
Is there-
that would give her the authority to, assuming that they
Yeah.
agree, to enter into that agreement.
So there is two places that say 2034. So at the very beginning.
Whereas clause.
Yeah, the whereas, yes. It says calendar years 2025 through 2034. And then the second one is the term length. You're just getting really advantageous, Bill.
You know, I'm not sure.
I would expect me to do something like that, but I wouldn't expect you to.
I don't expect me either, so I'm gonna go check all my
We do need to
edits and figure it
correct
out.
those dates as well, but the most critical date is what we're doing at the end of the contract period right now. So,
I feel like I would rather not sign something or give with wrong dates and then have to come back and do this all over again. I would rather just press pause. Let's get a legit contract in front of us that has the right dates and the right things so that we can do that aspect. That would be my 2 cents.
I think the trolley is probably going to be wanting to, isn't that Memorial Weekend?
yes, Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
31st, Labor Day weekend. I mean, that's a weekend they want to be open, so.
Yes, it is.
If we could just pass a resolution that we agree to extend the term for 5 years based on the contract that was presented, and just let it go at that and let you make the adjustment, have them re-sign it, is that would probably.
That's what we're legally asking if we can do. Yeah.
If we can just set it, actually, if we can set it down, go to the next one, come back, all the answers.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Let's move on to the next item and discuss it.
Okay, so you're going to discuss it.
We're,
over-
yeah, we're
Okay,
figuring
thank
out
you.
the
All right.
the right procedure.
What was it, G?
Yeah, I think we were at G, okay. All right, let's move down then to item G, which is resolution authorizing agreement with Flock Safety for annual subscription renewals. And I think that,
Yes, Tori
Adams,
Adams.
please come forward. Thank you for being here this evening. I know it was kind of short notice, so. I pulled this off the agenda for a couple of reasons. Number one, because we are looking at budgeting and it is a very expensive item. And number two, I think the community may have some questions about flock cameras, the usage, how often we use them, what kind of production they've had. Can you kind of give us a rundown of that so people will know?
Yeah, I can give you some. What would you like first? Would you like to talk about the effectiveness of the cameras or what they do, or would you like to talk about why there's contracts that are on the agenda?
Well, I know why there's contracts, because you buy the equipment and then you have a maintenance contract so that you can use it on an ongoing, it's like a licensing kind of thing, so.
Yes, and this may have came to everybody's attention because, just to give you a little bit of context, Lieutenant Adams with the police department, we acquired flock cameras in several groups throughout 2022. Since 2022, when we got some funding, we would buy some cameras. We got some more funding, we'd buy some cameras. And so each time that we would buy some cameras, we would get a new contract, obviously, for that group of cameras. With the initial onset, when we started this project, we couldn't buy directly from Flock. They weren't on state bid. We had to piggyback off of a different contract, and so the vendor for providing the actual cameras to us was called Insights. And so we've been dealing with Insights for the past 4 years, and I've had a rough time dealing with them as far as customer service goes. And I got a new customer service rep from Flock that reached out to me, and I had mentioned the issues I was having. She's like, well, now you can contract directly with us. And so that's what started all this, is that we're not searching to buy more cameras. We're paying for the cameras that we have. We're just dealing strictly with Flock instead of using Insights. So
Is it less expensive to do that?
no, well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. So the cost actually went up, but Insights, we were expecting a $500 per camera per year increase. Flock only increased by $250. So My wife would call that girl math, but it did go up slightly, but not as much as we thought we had. But we are budgeted for
How much
these-
you saved.
Exactly. We are budgeted for these cameras, and in fact, our budget was anticipating that there was going to be an increase last year, which didn't come. Our budget can absorb this cost this year, or for 2020, this year. So we're not worried that it's going to cost us more as far as our budget is concerned.
Okay.
And then, did anybody have any questions about why it's on there? Okay.
Question on the camera usage. Obviously there's camera, I don't know where they all are. I have no idea. They're all over the
There's one on
place.
the corner by your house.
I'm sure. But I'm wondering, like, are all of these cameras still necessary? Is the usage really on a certain set of cameras versus other parts of town that these are in, or are they really all about evenly dispersed usage-wise?
Well, it's a good question. I think it would be safe to say that just through assumptions that we can say that a camera that's at First Street in Washington is going to be a lot more useful than a camera that's at 64th and Nob Hill. There's just one intersection that gets a lot more traffic than another intersection. Our hope is that obviously we use the cameras to fight crime, and that we're hoping that the people that are doing crime are going through these intersections. They don't normally choose a busier intersection over a quieter intersection. They're just going on the route that they want to take, which they find is the most convenient for whatever it is that they're doing. So I think it's safe to say that most likely there's cameras that are, I don't want to use the term less effective, but they're not being utilized as much as another camera. And I had my analyst run a bunch of numbers, and I can provide those to you, and he broke it down to a specific data point, which is, he calls them hits per 10,000 reads. So we're looking at the number of hits that we get on a plate compared to how many reads that camera reads, and then we're able to come up with a ratio to figure out what's the average ratio. And typically each camera averages in a year about 2.7. So 2.7s per 10,000 reads, 2.79. So every time that a camera reads 10,000 plates, about 3 of those reads is going to hit off of a wanted person or a person that's driving without a license, or well, I guess wanted person is probably the best, which is usually what they are, is people that have warrants out for their arrest. So he took that number and looked at all the cameras, and there's obviously some cameras that are a little bit lower than 2.79. That doesn't mean that they're not reading plates, and that means they're not getting hits. For an example, a camera that was out at 16th in Washington, it's a camera that faces eastbound. Its average, remember the average is 2.79, its average is 1.62, so it's far below that. But it's still read 1.3 million reads. So it's still reading, that's a year's worth of data. And it had 215 hits. That's within this year, I'm sorry, up for the last 8 months. So it's still giving us data, giving us hits. It's identifying that there's people out there with warrants. And so I think that there is a lot of effectiveness. Going back to when we started the program, we started with 22 cameras. They were all pretty much east of 16th Avenue. And we thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, because it really it changed the way that we do law enforcement. And we had no, I wouldn't say desire. We weren't pushing to expand the number of cameras yet until we had a robbery at 32nd and Nob Hill. And they were like, we don't have any cameras there. So we don't have obviously they left in a car. We didn't see the car. We don't have a plate on the car. And so we got some more cameras, and we got out to 32nd Avenue. Well, then we had a serial fraudster that hit Tri-Cities, Seattle area, and then they frauded a business out at 72nd and Titan. Like, we're gonna have cameras out there. So we were like, man, we really need to get cameras at the heavier intersections so we can start trying to find and narrow down where the suspects are victimizing our businesses and the people within the city. And we have on our portal, or excuse me, on our website, we have a transparency portal where all the flock stuff is listed. I'm not connected up here to show you, but on there, the analysts run a monthly report just demonstrating how effective the cameras are and what they do for us. And the first 22 cameras, you may have remembered this if, for the council members that were here back in 2022. I was within a month that we were able to catch somebody that kidnapped a kid for school. That was with a flock camera. And that particular camera is not a camera that's he gets a lot of hits, you know, but it's that one camera that caught the bad guy that happened to drive by that intersection.
Now, private citizens can also buy these, is that correct?
Yes.
Have we had a lot of those, or do you know?
Not private. So ESD 105 had purchased 4 cameras but gave all the management rights to us. They're actually canceling their contract this year, so there's 4 cameras out there that will become inoperable in 2026. I think that our current budget for these cameras can absorb those 4 costs. That's a request that I made through my supervisors, and we'll hopefully see where that goes. But yes, schools can purchase cameras, private businesses can purchase cameras, and all of them have the ability to share that data with us. If you're not aware, the sheriff's office has just acquired some.
I was going to ask, yeah.
Go ahead with your question.
I was going to ask, is the county, they were talking about buying some.
The county has several of the cameras that we have already throughout the county, not in our city. They also acquired 4 trailers that have live video feeds. The live video feeds operate a little bit differently. They don't capture license plates. They're just strictly live video. We've used those a couple times for high density activities, just to help. It gives us more ability to see what's going on. I can have one person watching a couple a couple cameras, which is a couple different areas, or I'd have to have teams of 2 people out there watching. It just really multiplies our ability to for coverage.
I know that some of the smaller cities in the Lower Valley have also purchased cameras.
They may have. I was under the impression that they were provided through what county got, but I could be wrong.
I think some of them purchased their own, because at a mayor's meeting, we discussed it last year. So.
Yeah, you're more in the know than me. Yeah, so that's true.
But the benefit to me is because a lot of the criminal behavior, this gang-related behavior, they don't know jurisdictional boundaries, so they don't care. And so if the flock cameras are able to trace from one city through the county to another city, that's where, in those situations, the great benefit is.
It is, and to your point, just recently, last month, excuse me, last month we were able to apprehend a homicide suspect that was out of Tri-Cities, so using the cameras.
Lieutenant, real fast, you said how many were east of 16th Ave?
We have 86 total.
86.
To give you the exact number might take me a little bit to find that. I would guess, take 86 and minus 34, wherever that works out to be.
It's my understanding that this system helped to apprehend this really, really dangerous criminal that we had just recently, and gave the police the opportunity to apprehend him, and they knew what they were getting into. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you're referring to the most recent homicide, yes, the suspect's vehicle is what we were alerted to. It was through flock and drew the officer's attention.
I mean, it's the world we live in today is so extremely dangerous, and we heard the comments earlier about the police using too much force, but every resource that we can get to help keep our police officers safe, and to also at the same time help us apprehend some of these awful people, it's an important thing to have, and I applaud the police for, there's a lot of people who said that was a very ugly situation, but I think it's a very fortunate situation for the city of Yakima, because there was a very dangerous person that was out there on the street, and we were able to get him off the street with with the police. And a lot of people say that was too much force, but there isn't too much force when you're dealing with kind of people like that. They have absolutely no respect for law and order, and I applaud you for getting the job done.
Any other questions by council? Thank you, Lieutenant Adams. Appreciate that. Do we have a motion of any kind?
I move that we proceed and approve the item H, whatever it was. Was it H?
Yeah.
G.
G.
I'll second
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Glenn, a second by Councilman Berg, to authorize the agreement, and we will need a reading of the resolution, please.
This is a resolution authorizing agreements with Flock Safety for annual subscription renewals for the Yakima Police Department.
And we'll need a roll call vote, please.
Decio?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Herrera?
Yes.
Roy?
Yes.
Berg?
Yes.
Brown?
Yeah.
Byers?
Yes. All right, motion passes 7-0, and the resolution is adopted. Thank you, council. We're going to move back up to item E.
Thank you for allowing me that time. So I think the answer is yes. You can move to amend the resolution to the new language, changing the date of the agreement. However, your rules require that all resolutions must be in writing and form for final passage. So I think you should first suspend your rules by motion, then move to amend the resolution. And then additionally, I'll let Bill, looks like he really wants to say something.
Aching to say something.
This is the phase that I can't. I am looking at the draft that was sent to them, and it says 2029. The draft I got back, the signed copy I got back, says 2034. Not sure how that happened. Right here in red, the draft I sent.
Sent to
Did they
who?
change anything else?
Sent to who? The trolley?
Yes.
Okay.
So they sent.
I don't know. I don't know how it got changed or who changed it. I'm saying it is not the draft that was sent.
And we sent 2029.
I sent 2029.
And then
It
we
came
also need a.
back signed 2024
Yeah.
or 2034.
34.
Yeah, and we need
Not
a-
24.
Okay, council, how do we handle that?
Oh,
Well,
well,
we need-
I think that it doesn't change our approach, but obviously we need to make sure that what the city manager gets back from YVT to sign is 2029, because that's the authority she has,
Yes.
is to sign until
Yes.
2029.
And we're changing the date to the August 31st.
Can you say that one more time
Yeah.
into your mic? Some of the folks can't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry. So what will need to happen is, so council can move to suspend your rules, move to amend the motion to authorize the city manager to sign an agreement that goes through December 31st, 2029. However, in light of the information that Mr. Preston has shared with us, the city manager, we will make sure that that the agreement we get back has the correct date and not the 2034 date.
I feel like I need to check more than just the dates at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
Well, then part of the question was about if we sign the contract right now, because it says December.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay, because we were talking about it should be, it's ending the end of this month, as we understood it, the original contract ends at the end of this month. So the question was, how can we help them stay open Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, whatever it is. So we would need.
Can we extend the old contract 1 month so that we can get a new contract?
I have done that 3 times. And before, I brought it before you, because it expired December 31st. And then I brought it back in March, then I brought it back in May, then I brought it back in
Right.
August, and
I mean, that's
So-
fine, but I'm asking tonight, can we
Can we
just
do
extend
that?
the old one? And then,
We can do that.
Can we do that?
and then, because when you're saying you want to look at this again, that concerns me. So I'm going, well, I want you to look at it again, Bill.
Yeah.
And I know the old contract, we already did that. And so we can at least extend the old contract
For 1 month.
for 1 month.
yeah, I will have to write it and get it to them. I go on vacation at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I will be
How
gone
long
for
will you
a
be
week. So I will be back Wednesday. Basically, I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get it written and, is this thing on?
Yeah.
Written and signed.
So that would give you a bit of time to
So if we
just go
move,
through it and make the changes that need to be made. Sounds like there's 2 or 3 little changes that need to be made.
You mean
Verify
a
that
month?
that's accurate in a month, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I could easily update it and
and then
make any
get it.
corrections that need to be made in a month.
Okay.
Do you need
That's
us
my question.
for the old one to extend? Like, do we need to do
No.
that tonight?
No, I mean, other than
could
if
do-
you give her, I can write the amendment, that's easy. And then she just needs authority to sign the agreement.
So then I think still move to suspend your rules, pass a resolution that or amend the resolution, I guess. Well, it's
We need the
tricky
old
now 'cause it's
resolution.
a brand new.
Do you have the old resolution?
Could
We could extend the old contract for 30 days
Yeah,
to
that's
allow
the
time
question,
to correct this.
Without going into a new resolution to
No, I
amend the contract.
I
Can we
understand,
just
but it's not, I guess what I was expressing is it's not as simple as now moving to amend the resolution, because it's not really, it's a brand-new resolution to extend the existing contract.
You want to write a resolution real quick?
I can do that.
Okay.
Would you like to do that now?
Yes. My intent is to do that right now.
In the meantime.
We
do
can
I-
move on to the other
Do I
stuff.
have, unless I need to suspend the rules, is that correct, Ms. Wilk?
Yeah, you can, yeah, either now or once the resolution is presented. But it's the same subject matter, so this subject matter was,
Okay, then we will move on and come back to you. All right, thank you. We're going to move to item D on the agenda,
This is the fastest I've seen government move. I just want you all to know.
which is item A, 9A as a resolution authorizing application for acceptance of an FAA grant. And our airport director, Rob Hodgman, is going to talk to us this evening. Welcome, Mr. Hodgman.
Good evening, council. It's always a pleasure to appear before you. So tonight, we have a resolution to authorize the city manager to apply for, and after legal review, accept a grant for the design for the rehabilitation of the crosswind runway, runway 220. This is a very important runway for the airport for a couple of reasons. I have the fortune of my vantage point at the airport to not only watch the aircraft take off and land, but to see the windsock and which direction and how hard the wind is blowing, and I listen on the radio. I'm also a pilot, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, earlier this year, I was making an approach on runway 27, and the winds were 230 at 22 knots, gusting to 28. Not a safe condition to land on runway 27, and so we did a go-around and landed on runway 22. When you look at the condition of pavement in the aviation world, they use what's called a pavement condition index, and 100% means brand new, pristine pavement. Our pavement on runway 22 averages around 20%, and in some areas it's less than that. But what else is important to know is that this runway is used by FedEx, UPS, and Airlift Northwest when the winds dictate. And if we were to ever have some kind of a situation that we closed runway 27, although runway 22 is not sufficient for the airline, it is still sufficient for pretty much everybody else. So that it gives us a lot of flexibility, but it's also very much a safety factor. So this project is all airport fund. It is both FAA grant as well as passenger facility charges. And of course, the airport is an enterprise fund, so this is not coming out of the general fund.
Thank you. Questions, council? Comments?
So this is repaving that. Is it extending it, just repaving it?
No, the good news, I'm so glad you asked that. Actually, this is a unique opportunity. When I arrived, I learned about runway 22 and its condition. But at that time, the FAA rules were very stringent, and you had to do a wind study, which was done, and we barely missed it as far as qualifying for them to fund the crosswind runway. And we fought valiantly, but were not successful in convincing them until the 2024 FAA Reauthorization Act, where they created a new category called the Legacy Crosswind Runway, for which our runway applies. And it just so happens we have some BIL money that is available to not only do the design this year, but to do the rehabilitation construction next year. And with the rules of the Legacy Crosswind Runway, previously we were going to be required to reduce the width from 150 feet to 75 and then move all the lighting in. It was actually going to cost a lot more. But with this new rule, we can leave it at the 150 feet, which is good for larger planes, and not have to move the lighting. And so we're going to mill off the top 2 or 3 inches, do some core borings to make sure that we've got good subsoil, and then repave, restripe over the top.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I would move to accept the resolution authorizing application for an acceptance of FAA grant of crosswind runway rehabilitation.
Second.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Councilman Decio and a second by Deputy Mayor Brown to authorize application for acceptance of FAA grant to cross-fund runway rehabilitation on the airport fund. Clerk, would you read the resolution, please?
This is a resolution authorizing a grant application to the Federal Aviation Administration for the design of the Crosswind Runway Rehabilitation Project at Yakima Air Terminal McAllister Field.
Thank you. And we will need a roll call vote, please.
Glenn?
Yes.
Herrera?
Yes.
Roy?
Yes.
Berg?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Byers?
Yes.
DCO?
Yes.
All right, the motion passes 7-0. Resolution is adopted. Thank you, council. We now move on to item 9B, which is a resolution authorizing the application for an acceptance of another FAA grant, and I will let Mr. Hodgman talk to us about that.
Thank you again. This is a tremendous opportunity. I hope you've driven by the terminal building over the last couple of months and seen the construction. If you would like to have a tour, Mayor Byers has already had a tour. If others would like to come by and have a tour, just drop me a line and I'd be happy to show you. I promise I won't make you climb the scary ladder unless you really want to. But I can take you up to the old terminal and you can get a bird's eye view of everything. This is the baggage claim project, and this is the third of 3 grants that will, I don't know if you saw in the paper or on the news, some renderings. This is going to be doubling the size of the baggage claim space, bringing in a baggage carousel, completely remodeling both of the male and female bathrooms downstairs, plus creating a new family bathroom and creating a new family lounge that will be kid-friendly and a new vending area. And this is the second of several more project phases to come. This is, again, airport funds, so this is a combination of both this FAA grant and then a match from the county seed board.
Thank you. Questions, council? All I can say, I'll be glad to get rid of the slide and
Yes.
bring in the carousel.
All right. I would move to adopt the resolution.
I second.
So we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Brown and a second by Councilman DCO to adopt the resolution. And clerk, would you read the resolution in full, please?
This is a resolution authorizing a grant application to the Federal Aviation Administration for the Yakima Air Terminal Building Modernization Project for capital improvements at the Yakima Air Terminal McAllister Field.
Thank you. We'll need a roll call vote, please.
Herrera?
Yes.
Roy?
Yes.
Berg?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Byers?
Yes.
DCO?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 and the resolution is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Hodgman.
Thank you, council.
All right. Then we're going to move to item 10, which is city manager updates.
Okay. Well, I didn't really have a whole lot prepared tonight, but I thought I would share my trip to the Washington City Managers Association Conference last week, which was wonderful for me to get the opportunity to meet other city managers across the whole state and trade best practices and I learned a ton. So thank you for that opportunity to get to go. We had several sessions. We talked about AI and other things that are happening, current events, and something I thought I would bring tonight that was kind of fun was a session we had on social media. And I think we all are aware of social media and how it is out there. There was an actual study that they did that measured social media sentiment compared to an actual scientific poll of the community overall. And so the social media sentiment was kind of one opinion. Actually, 70% of the overall population disagreed. So I thought that was very surprising that, a lot of people don't agree with the sentiment on social media. And the social media sentiment seemed to be a small number, and I don't recall exactly. It was less than 5%. But the person joked and said, and just remember that 6% of the people believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Just for context. So it was a great conference. I want to thank you for sending me, and I made a lot of new friends, phone friends I can call when we have something going on around here. So great trip. And I think, did I buy you enough time?
Yes, I just needed
Okay.
We appreciate that.
to print because I do not
Thank
have
you.
my printer set
All
up.
right,
so
Mr.
if
Blick,
I
you're
can-
up.
So I need to, I did complete the draft. I need to send it to, I guess, the city clerk to print. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the
Can you,
fastest of resolutions.
Excuse me, can you send it to Brandy, please?
Yes, and I will send it to, I guess, the whole council, and then you can, actually, I'll send it to Brandy. Let's see here.
As we think about that, I think that having a positive attitude about the city of Yakima, even as a city council, we have a tendency to be pointing out all the problems that need to be solved, but the reality is we're probably much better served by talking about all the good things of Yakima.
Yes.
And we should probably all work on doing that more than we do.
You know, I can add and by a couple more minutes and just say that in our upcoming presentations, we are going to talk about a lot of the positive things that are happening in the city. And there are a lot of positive things. And we'll also take a look back at projects that we've completed this year and some of the things that have happened over the last year. Since I made my 1 year, I thought it was a good time to kind of look back at everything that has happened over the last year. So in the next study session, I think on the 9th is our hope to have that together for you.
Thank you. We can do other business at this point in time.
Yeah, sorry,
Sure.
let's saving it all, let's take it just a.
Okay, so other business, does any council person have other business this evening?
I do.
Please go ahead.
So I told you guys last time was doing a proclamation for Yakima United and their league championship, so it was requested. So I would move to add to a future agenda at our, when is our next one?
It's the 2nd.
2nd of September, bummer. Move to our next business meeting, a proclamation celebrating Yakima United's league championship.
A second.
So we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Brown and a second by Councilman Cicio to bring to the September 2nd regular council meeting a proclamation for, thank you.
Yakima United's league championship.
Thank you.
Celebrating.
Yakima United League Championship Celebration. Right. Council, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes 7-0. I also have other business. I move to direct staff to prepare a Harvest Marching Band proclamation to be presented in October.
Second.
So we have a motion by the mayor and a second by Deputy Mayor Brown to move to direct staff to prepare a Harvest Marching Band proclamation to be presented in the month of October. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion passes.
Isn't there a big convention or something going on this
Well,
fall?
it's at convention tomorrow.
Well, I mean, they have a competition where they all come.
That is in October. It's the Harvest Band Festival. I used to be a band booster grandparent for Davis High School when our grandson was in the band. We actually spent our 25th wedding anniversary serving concessions. We have a great picture of that, too. So
That brings a lot of people into town.
it does. They have to limit actually the number of competitors to 20 because, they're limited on space and time. So
It should be on its way.
on its way to who?
Printing. He's printing.
Printing to who?
She can bring it in.
Once you put it on the internet, it loses all its credibility, doesn't it?
I'm looking to see if it came to council. Nope.
I just
Okay.
sent it
To Brandy, okay.
make sure it went through on my end. Oh, it didn't, no, that didn't.
Should be.
I will go,
Open discussion by council. Anybody want to talk about anything in particular?
That's how fast this resolution was made. Come on,
Yes.
somebody.
Well, I listened to the one comment that, we had 15 police officers that ended up shooting at a criminal, but at the same time, I think it's important for us to realize that we had an individual that we knew was a huge threat. And yeah, it looks ugly to have 15 people shooting a gun at a criminal, but it's far better to have that happen than to have a criminal like that out on the streets. And so as ugly as it was, I'm grateful that it happened.
Yes. And it was very tragic in a lot of ways because a family of like 6 children, lost their mother that day and saw that occur. And then after that, the police were able to do a maneuver to stop the car, but it took a lot of officers surrounding. And as we all know, the perpetrator shot first, started shooting at police, and so I agree with you. We hope not to have this happen again in the city of Yakima. We are very grateful for the response of our police department in following the situation through the entire day and locating this man.
Until September.
All right. So we're going to suspend the rules.
I would move to suspend the rules to pass an amended resolution.
Second.
So we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Brown and a second by Councilman Berg to suspend the rules this evening to be able to present an amended resolution. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, then it's 7-0. We can move ahead.
I move that we adopt the resolution.
All right. And would the clerk read the resolution, please?
Did anybody
Yes.
second it?
Oh, yeah, I'll second.
Okay, so we have a
Sorry.
motion by Councilman Glenn, second by Councilman Berg, to adopt a resolution. We need to have the resolution read, please.
This is a resolution authorizing an amendment extending the current agreement with Yakima Valley Trolleys to operate, maintain, and promote the City of Yakima's electric railway system and museum.
Thank you. Has
Just-
council had opportunity to read through this?
Just so the public is aware, because they can't see this.
All right.
This is it's the same type of thing, but whereas on July 7th, the city adopted R 2020-075 to accept the operation agreement for Yakima Valley Trolleys, a nonprofit, whereas the city wishes to extend the operating agreement until September 30th, 2025, subject to all current terms of the agreement.
Yep. that
Very
is the-
simple.
That is the amendment.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so we have had a motion and a second. We have had the resolution read. We need a roll call vote, please.
Roy?
Yes.
Berg?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Byers?
Yes.
Decio?
No.
Glenn?
Yes.
Herrera?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 6-1 and the resolution is adopted. Thank you, council. All right, is there any other business before the council this evening?
Do we need to do anything with the item that we still never really solved, which was the E? Do we need to just table that?
Did we not take a vote on that?
Isn't that what we just did?
No, this is a completely different resolution.
This is a
than what item
resolution
E.
authorizing the operating license agreement with the Yakima, oh,
Yeah, that was E, but we never did anything with it.
Yeah, table and
Oh.
If you table it, we can bring it back on the second.
okay.
I move that we table
amend it.
Resolution E until,
September 2nd.
Yep, September
oh,
2nd.
it's probably not September 2nd. It's
That's
probably
when the-
later
that's
than that.
when
We want to give him time to get it done.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
So,
table it,
Table it until maybe this. Indefinite.
Table it indefinitely.
because we're going to probably bring back,
Okay.
As soon as he has it ready, we can bring it back, but he may not have it ready by the
they have to
second.
sign it.
It would probably be the second.
Yeah.
We'll just table it till a future date. Okay. Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilman Glenn and a second by Councilman Berg to table this item till a future date. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, then the motion passes. Thank you. That takes care of that part of the issue. Is there any other business before council this evening? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Actually, hold on. I would like, sorry, I would like in the future when as we're looking at budgets, this is for you and Craig and different things, as we're looking at budgets, I would really like to know the full impact of general fund. I do not care that it is in the streets or in the parks or over here or over there. If it is in the general fund, it is in the general fund. So I would like to see the full impact of what that is, because we are communicating to the public that this is a $10,000 thing or a $20,000 thing or different things like that, when it's not. It's actually a $35,000 thing when we add all these things into that. I already received an email saying this is this is not what was originally said. This is a frustration from the community when we're trying to build trust with the community in regards to budgeting. That doesn't do that. And so, anyways, I say that with respect to the staff, but also with a little bit of, look, I don't personally think it's on purpose, but in reality, it's, I want to know what the general fund impact is, and so does the public.
I think one of the things we have done, and giving our staff, financial director and city manager credit, is that as we go through the agenda and things on the budget come up, for the most part, they're identified as either if they're not part of the general fund. But the public doesn't always know that. You are correct about that. So maybe as we're reading the agenda items, if it says that on there, I can read that. This has no effect on the general fund, or this is a general fund item.
Correct, but the difficulty is that when it says, well, this is in the streets fund, well, that's general fund. Well, this is in the parks fund, that's general fund, right? So it needs to be stated, if it is in the general fund, that it is the general fund. There's not a separate funding mechanism for those departments. They are all in the general fund unless they're an enterprise fund, which is not the case on these, in this. So anyways, that's just for some clarity as the public is trying to watch these things.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that if you read through the consent agenda, it will tell you if it's a general fund or not. So perhaps we just need to be reading that so that people know if it's something that comes from an enterprise fund or a general fund.
I would like to just say too, I hear you.
Yeah.
And I think some of the confusion may also be that the dollar amounts that were on the survey may have been a partial funding of something, or, half of something. And so I think that also may be confusing folks a little, because the 10,000 was just the operations. But you're right, it wasn't the full amount. So I do hear you.
Yeah.
And so when we look at that, whether it's a reduction, an entire reduction or not, I think that is, so far it has been packaged differently than that.
Correct. I mean, the opposite is said as well, is that they're, when folks see, like, let's say youth programs or adult programs, are removed from the general fund, what it is it's not subsidized by the general fund anymore, and they're going to be either fee increase and you're going to pay for your adult programs. There's going to be a cost difference in that front.
Right.
But the general public is not following all of those nuances on everything. And so that's why I think if we're talking general fund dollars, it needs to be the full aspect of the impact. So if we're talking trolleys, what is the full impact of the trolleys to the general fund? If we're talking flower baskets, what is the full impact? Well, we're eliminating 50,000. Well, is it 50,000, or is there also 10,000 for maintenance and another 5,000 for this and another 5,000 for that? Like those are the things that we have to look at when it comes to general fund, because again, I want to just be very upfront to our public so that they know those things.
Another example, I'm going to agree with you on that, in that part of the package was eliminating $50,000 from Harmon Center, eliminating $50,000 from Washington Fruit Center. And what does that mean? And suggestions were made that, well, maybe that means a cut in staff time, or maybe that means a cut in program, or maybe that means, so if we can put it in language that more clearly states $50,000 that will be made up, or can possibly be streamlined and made up, from fees or something like that, just so the public has that information as we're talking about it, so.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all.
Okay. Anything else before the council tonight? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I move to adjourn to our next council regular meeting on September 2nd at 5:30 PM here at City Hall.
A second.
So we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Brown, a second by Councilman Decio, to adjourn to the next City Council regular meeting on September 2nd, 2025, 5:30 PM here at City Hall. All those agrees, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, council.